President Trump calls it the honor of a lifetime. Tonight, we bring you comprehensive coverage of his first ever meeting with Pope Francis. Good evening from Washington, D.C., and thank you to those of you joining us from around the world for news from a Catholic perspective. I'm Lauren Ashburn. President Trump and Pope Francis have different styles, but today they struck a tone of peace and goodwill. Susie Pinto begins our team coverage of the president's first foreign trip. She joins us from Rome. Susie.
Lauren, it has been a big day here in the Vatican. President Trump is midway through a 9-day international tour. This morning, the Holy Father welcomed the president in the Vatican. It was a much anticipated first encounter after a few clashes, but today both leaders highlighted common ground, including the need for peace in the world today. President Donald Trump arrives in the Vatican.
Welcome to the Vatican. It's an honor, a great pleasure to receive you here in the
The ancient protocol of the church on full display.
Mr. President.
The visit began with a handshake and then a picture. The president thanking the Holy Father.
Thank you very much. This is such a great honor.
After a private meeting that lasted 30 minutes, President Trump introduced the First Lady, and they shared a light moment. The Holy Father asking Melania about a favorite Slovenian dessert of his. And then she asks him to bless her rosary. As is tradition, the Pope and the President exchange gifts, Trump giving Francis a first edition set of Martin Luther King's works, as well as a bronze sculpture. The Holy Father presented the U.S. leader with a medal representing peace and 3 documents that to some degree define his papacy and priorities, including the family and the environment. The Pope telling the president he hopes Trump can be an instrument of peace, and then a promise. President Trump telling the Holy Father, "I won't forget what you said." Lauren, we don't know what Pope Francis said to President Trump today during their private meeting, but the Vatican released a statement expressing satisfaction on the common commitment to life, the freedom of worship, and conscience rights. The Holy See also said it hopes that the Vatican and the Church in the United States can work with the U.S. government on the issues of health care, education, and helping immigrants. Lauren?
Susie, and one of the things we are going to be talking about later in the show is other ways, including Christian persecution, where the two groups can work together. There has been so much build-up to this first encounter. Can you give us a little window into what the president's reaction was to meeting Pope Francis?
Lauren, President Trump seemed quite happy after this meeting. He called it fantastic. He later said it was the honor of a lifetime, and he said he left the Vatican today more determined than ever to seek peace in the world.
That's just incredible. He's been on an amazing journey. I understand, though, after this, the president and his delegation were able to see some of the cultural heritage of the Vatican?
That's right. After their meeting with Pope Francis, they went to the Sistine Chapel, which of course is the site of Michelangelo's famous fresco, The Last Judgment. Melania and President Trump gazed at that beautiful piece of art, and then they went downstairs to St. Peter's Basilica, where they saw another masterpiece by Michelangelo, the Pietà, the famous statue of Our Lady with Jesus in her arms. And then they made one final stop to the tomb of St. John Paul II, who of course is so famous and made such an impact on the world.
Really incredible that he was able to see all of those sites. What's next for the president?
Well, this afternoon, President Trump left Rome and he arrived in Brussels ahead of a meeting with NATO leaders. That's just the 4th stop out of 5 stops on this international tour. The final and 5th stop will be in Sicily, where President Trump will be meeting with leaders of the G7 nations.
That's wonderful. Susie, thank you so much for all of your reports from Rome. Susie Pinto, EWTN News Nightly Executive Producer.
Thank you, Lauren.